button, and bam, we are there. Hey, everybody. This is Mr. Peter Dunn, Pete the Planner. I'm Joe Salci. We are going to make a couple podcasts here today on which is called the Money with Friends podcast. And you can get the audio version wherever you get podcasts. You can also get the hilarious and fun Pete the Planner Show podcast as well, which I love the intro you did for us, Pete, on Stacking Benjamins, which is when I'm not solving the strangest financial problems you've ever, and you get some awesome questions.
We do. You know, I always enjoy, the weirder the better for me. And it's not because I like peculiar things. I just know how complicated financial situations get, and there's a lot of people to answer the simple ones. I want to be the one that answers the hard ones.
Yeah.
So, that's what we like to do.
Well, it's kind of like my wife is in medicine, and whenever I go out with her and her friends, they're always like, oh, you saw a case of XYZ? And they all get like really excited, not about the fact that somebody is suffering from this horrible affliction, but because they never see it, you know? And so they're trading notes back and forth. Same thing with finances, right? You're like, oh, somebody had I don't know, I can't think of it.
Well, it's always just relationships, right? I mean, it's always like, well, my dad gave my sister all this money, but then my sister bought me, and it's like, what? How is this possible? And then it's like, so what should I do? And then we have to figure it out. It's like, someone could just be trolling me, but other than that, it makes for good content. Yeah.
But one of my favorite ones recently that somebody sent us was they were living with mom, helping her pay her bills.
Okay.
And boyfriend moved in. Mom had got a boyfriend and moved in and immediately wanted to evict them, but was also stealing money from mom, you know?
Yeah.
Stealing money from mom and evicting son and daughter. So
yeah, I've seen that show.
Yeah. Isn't that sad? Hey, Chris and Sarah Lynn are here. Pete is back. We got very lucky. We got him back for just 2 more shows, which are both going to be back to back here. And then
you could call it a repeat.
He's here all night.
Here for another 40 minutes or so.
So fantastic. All right. We're going to make a couple of podcasts. So if you guys want to be a part of the podcast, please hang out. In fact, the first one that we're going to do is all about airline stumpings and fees. So sit back, relax, grab a nice beverage, depending on what time it is. It's afternoon here on the East Coast, so you could make it a foamy beverage if you want. And Pete and I are going to entertain you with our wit and our financial acumen. How about that?
Looks. Not our looks.
Probably not the looks. No. All right. Oh, you know what? Of course. And you guys get to see behind the scenes here as we get ready to go. I forgot my intro.
Oh boy.
Oh,
that's a bad look.
I was so close. I thought I had it all together.
Everybody doing okay? I'll just warm up the crowd for you.
It's like before the Tonight Show.
Yeah. Where do you come in from? San Diego's beautiful this time of year.
Have you done any of those? I mean, not performed at them, because I know that you've done comedy, but have you gone and watched those being made live?
Oh yeah. I love, there's a couple things that make them great. How small the space is my favorite thing, right? It's just like, it looks so big on TV, but it's like a closet, right? So that is David Letterman, that's whatever that is, late night.
Yeah.
But then I just, how the production staff is just like, they're just trying to make a show, right? And yeah, you're in on the show and you're part of the show, so they're trying to get you going, but you're just a cog in their wheel. And so it really is not about you. It is about the show, and they got to get out of you what they need. And I actually love that. It seems callous, but I love it.
I think it's cool too, because man, if they can't get the crowd of 100 people hyped up, then how are they going to get the 5 million or whatever number of people watch those shows? I don't even know what the numbers are. All right. We got Kimberly hasn't been here in a while. Kimberly, great to see you. Sean is here with us. Guys, speaking of that, I did this morning. I'm going to retweet this on my Average Joe Money Twitter feed so that people can follow along there too if they want to.
You know what? I will retweet it on my Twitter feed.
Yeah, so go to
600 people.
Here's what you do, Pete. Go to Money with Friends, Twitter, and you'll see us live, and just hit the retweet button, and And there we are. I'm seeing we've got 3 whole people watching us on Twitter right now.
That's impressive.
You're welcome, Twitter people.
Retweeted.
I don't even know what Craig is talking about. Using Total World Bond Index as emergency opportunity fund, and if there's a crash, do the same in March. Maybe a good topic to spend some time on. Oh, gotcha. Yes, we're not doing it today, Craig. We already have 2 other things we're talking about. Way more important things, like the fact that these airlines that I hate are finally getting rid of the baloney fee, which makes me so happy. I can't tell you how happy I am, but it won't stop me from talking some smack. So Pete's going to be collateral damage here because I'm going to talk a little smack about my favorite airline. And I say favorite with my tongue like way over here in my cheek. All right, let's do this. Here we go. This is going to be for tomorrow, Thursday, September 3rd. Big news out of the airlines. There are some fees that are going away. Is there more to come? We're going to talk to Pete the Planner from HeyMoney on today's Money with Friends. Welcome back to the Money with Friends podcast, coming to you live from my mom's half-finished traveling basement. Today, we are in East Lansing, Michigan. I'm Joe Saul-Sehy.
And I'm Peter Dunn, coming to you from the crossroads of America, Indianapolis, Indiana. Yes, we gave ourselves that name.
That's fantastic. And probably paid a little extra for it, too.
Oh, you got to pay for the branding. Yeah, we were all sorts of things, but that's what we are today.
This is the podcast where Pete and I are going to cover a recent story ripped from the financial press. Today, we're going to tackle one from IBT.com. Not only do we read them like some podcasts, but we'll dive into how they affect your wallet and what you can do to invest, save, and pay down debt more effectively. And of course, we're going to do it in less than 20 minutes. Well, we're so happy because today and tomorrow, we have our friend Pete the Planner back. How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm at stage 4 of the pandemic, which is just short of stage 5. So things are going well.
On a scale of what, stage 1 to 70?
No one knows. No one knows. But I feel like I've moved past stage 3. By the way, I can't define any of the stages. It's just that it feels like something's next, and I'm in 4 right now.
I remember when, I don't remember which administration or president was that created the threat levels.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, once you go to orange, you can never go back, because if you ever go back, so now that you're at stage 4, you can't go back to stage 1. Like there's no way, because it might happen again at some point. You're like, well, it's shame on you. We were on stage 4.
Yeah. I went through a bit. Here are the real stages. Eat like world is ending and it doesn't matter. That was actually stage 1 through 3. And now I'm at like lose all the weight from stages 1 through 3. That's where I'm at.
Lose the COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you can do that after this 15 minutes, pal, because right now we're going to talk about airlines and airline fees. Let's see which one of our friends is going to help us kick off today's show. All right, this piece comes to us from ibtimes.com, but we've seen it everywhere. This is written by Don Geske. Change fees eliminated permanently. I love how they use the word permanently with airlines. Don't we? This must be a very young writer. There is nothing permanent when airlines do anything. But comedy aside, change fees eliminated permanently for Delta, American, United, and Alaska Airlines. Don writes, Delta, American, United, and Alaska Airlines have all announced they're eliminating ticket changes fees permanently for some flights. The elimination of the change fees from the airlines comes as they look to allow for more flexible travel during the coronavirus pandemic. The airline industry has seen a significant drop in air travel as passengers stayed home during the pandemic. The change fee policy from Delta is effective immediately and includes its first class, Delta Premium Select, Delta Comfort Plus, and main cabin tickets. There's an exception to basic economy tickets, which traditionally come with a no change and no cancellation policy. However, Delta said it will also waive change fees on newly purchased international flights and basic economy fares through the end of the year. Pete?
We've said it before that we need to approach flexibility differently than this industry has in the past, and today's announcement builds on that promise to ensure we're offering industry-leading flexibility, space, and care to our customers, Delta CEO Ed Bastian said. in a statement. We want our customers to book and travel with peace of mind, knowing that we'll continue evaluating our policies to maintain the high standard of flexibility they expect. American Airlines has also eliminated its change fees for all domestic and short-haul international flights. The policy extends to first class, business class, premium economy, and most main cabin fares. United has also gotten rid of change fees for good for all standard economy and premium cabin tickets for travel within the U.S. effective immediately. The airline said the policy extends to new tickets purchased through December 31st to allow for unlimited changes without any additional costs. Alaska Airlines also issued a no change fee policy for domestic and international flights effective immediately. The policy applies to all tickets except for the airline's Saver Faves or Saver Fares. Saver Faves would have been better copy. For the airline's Saver Fares unless they are purchased by December 31st.
Saver Faves, the crossroads of American ticket purchases. I don't.
This story is so good because I'm printing it off and I'm saving it and I'm pulling it back out in about 3 years.
I got to tell you what's funny about this. What was it? The American Airlines CEO saying, "We always have you at the heart of everything. Like we're getting rid of this because of you." Now, the big question is, Pete, why the hell did you have this dumb policy in the first place? Because if I'm, let's say, at an airport and you got me to airport number 1 early, this is purely hypothetical. This would have never happened in real life. You actually got me there early. And then my next plane to get to my final destination is delayed. And there's one that's leaving right now. And the gate agent tells me that it's only a quarter of the way full. Me getting on that plane, I don't know that should happen. Here's what needs to happen. You need to try to charge me $200 to get on that plane because it's a change of my flight. Absolutely ridiculous. These fees were crazy in the first place.
They've never made sense. And to prove they never made sense, Southwest doesn't even have them. So what they're saying now is they're acknowledging by saying, now we're going to be flexible. What has Southwest been the whole time? And I'm not a big Southwest fan, but Southwest has done this for a really long time. What I know to be true, if you've ever sat in the gate and you've heard all the different premium classes or the classes going through, the status miles, Joe, all they're going to do is come up with a new type of fare that will be their cheapest fare that will have change fees. So they've just said, hey, guys, based on everything we have, we're not going to have change fees. Starting to 2021, the super uber premium basic fare with change fees. And that's the only ticket there's going to be.
Yeah, it's so crazy when you read what these CEOs are saying as they do this. The way I heard it, and I don't know if this is correct or not, but I heard that United did it first, and it was within a couple hours that the other airlines answered. Now, that may be wrong. Maybe a different airline did it. But I'm certain, though, regardless of which one started it, Pete, here's what happened. One of them said, we're finally getting rid of this baloney fee. And then all the other ones had to respond. Yeah. Like they had to respond.
I like to imagine scenarios like that. It's like they hear it and then the CEO of it is like, get Peterson on the phone. And they grab the phone and they, Peterson, United's changing their fees. Oh, okay, Mr. Bastian, right away. We'll change our fees too.
Come up with a way to make this up, right? That's going to be the next one. You got to come up with a way that we're going to make this fee up. This absolutely, like as an example, here's another one. If you can figure out a way to magically get that bag through the TSA line, you can always check it for free at the gate. Every stinking time. All you got to do is be able to get it through the first half. And then part of the other highway robbery are these baggage fees.
We should have probably started out with, hey, we do feel sorry for the airline industry and all the employees losing their jobs. We should have probably led with that. But I have to admit here, when Congress gets itself into big trouble and then it comes out with this big superfluous statement that says how great they are and you're welcome, they've created their own issue here. And then they're like, hey, everybody, we solved a really big problem that we ourselves created. You're welcome.
It's absolutely horrible. But this is not the only industry where this happens. It's sad when that earlier scenario happened to me and I'm at this gate early. By the way, at this gate, I knew that this plane that was delayed, that I was trying to get on was the same plane I was going to have to be on. So it was going to go to my destination, drop off the 4 people that were on it, come back to Dallas, pick up me 3 hours later, and then take. So I knew it was going to be a 3-hour delay. Nope, we got to charge you $200, put you on the plane. The bad news is I have, and this is absolutely horrible, I have 11,000 Twitter followers. And I actually went, yeah, do you know who I am, Pete? I know. I like that look.
Gosh.
Yes. Yes. Look
That's
at me.
Just
yes.
More than 10,000.
But this is sickening. Here's how I got rid of it. And it is sickening. I tweeted immediately and said, this is absolute baloney. And the very first thing American Airlines said is, hey, don't put it on Twitter. Talk to the gate agent. I'm like, no, baby. I finally got you paying attention to me. And, but I did go back to the gate agent. But what was also funny was then I went to Twitter and I said, no, that nice lady also said that you just have a stupid policy and there's nothing she can do about it. It has nothing to do with her. Like, oh, don't get me wrong, man. I learned passive aggressive nature from my mom. She's a ninja at this stuff. So I immediately, but you know what they ended up doing? They gave us like $450 of all of these things to shut me up for $200 that they were going to take out of my wallet for nothing. The plane was almost empty. Why the hell don't you just put me on it? It was anyway, I'm not mad at all about that, Pete.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like therapy has helped. You know, I've yet to use the bully pulpit of social media in that fashion yet, because I'm really holding out for it to be something, not that $200 isn't a big deal, because it is, but I've yet to whip that concept out, but I will someday, and it will be phenomenal. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm waiting.
And you're right. You're right. And I felt even bad when I was doing it. And it really wasn't the $200 as much as it was, there was no reason to charge me for it. If I was looking to change my gate, I was looking to change everything.
Sure.
And instead of just getting my butt home at the time it said on my ticket, which I would have done had they let me get on that plane. If it were something else, okay, I can see maybe some fee, but charging me $200 to do that, they're in the transportation industry. Isn't their job to make me happy that I got home? Thank you, American Airlines. You got me home when it said on my ticket. Thank you very much.
You know, I in knowing you too, you probably began the whole thing very reasonable. It's like, hey, here's this situation. Can we do this? And they're like, well, change fee. You'll never be the guy I saw in the Denver airport who had a situation. We've all had the situation, right? He's had a situation and just starts screaming, respect my status. Respect.
Oh my God.
Status. And I was dying. Like, I did put that on Twitter. But it was, it like made my 4-hour delay palatable because this guy won the Idiot of the Day award. Respect my status. It was great.
I saw a YouTube video on that. Some woman at a CVS saying, I'm an American Express Platinum card holder. I'm a Platinum card holder.
Oh,
you know who I am? Yes.
You know me and my weird YouTube videos. I'm gonna have to find that one.
Yeah, I do feel a little crappy now. Mike saying he doesn't think the American Airlines bribe worked, where they gave me $450 because clearly I'm still talking about it after they gave me that money. The big thing here, though, we talk about these baloney fees. Is there, and it's not just here, right? It's in other places. Do you question these fees? Do you say, why do you have this on my bill? Do you let it go and just go, you know what, I'm powerless? Like, what type of recourse do we have when it comes to a lot of these crappy fees?
I had to take my son to a doctor's appointment the other day, and I could tell what they were doing. They were stacking on fees. You could tell by the procedures and things. And look, we got a rule thing. No, you don't, because this is pretty cut and dry. And so let's just say, Joe, I'm waiting for that bill to come. Oh, fella's going to get on the phone, and it's going to go wonderfully for me.
How?
Because I'm going to call him up. I'm like, all right, here's the thing. The doctor was in there for 70 seconds after waiting 45 minutes so the person could go, yep. But what they're going to do is to say the doctor was highly involved with the situation as opposed to the nurse practitioner. So the more people that go in, then they put those people's billing code in there. And so they're going to get the wrath of Peter, which actually sounds like a movie you shouldn't watch.
But can you win that argument?
Yes, because I got a bully pulpit. I'll put it on Twitter. I'm like, I learned this from Joe.
It's so bad. By the way, everybody just send me your grievances so I don't feel like such a jerk. Like if somebody has 4 Twitter followers, feel free to send me your thing and I'll help you out. So it's not just Joe pushing his way around. But seriously, there is a way to fight this. And I think rule number 1 is the opposite of what that guy did. I knew the woman, the gate agent, it was not her problem. Don't get me wrong, I got passive aggressive with her, but I wasn't nasty. I just kept trying to appeal to her. And finally, she actually said to me, she's like, "Sir, I understand your situation. I will lose my job if I put you on that plane without getting $200 from you." And you know, what do you do?
That? She won the gymnastics there.
I felt for her, you know. Yeah. I mean, she basically said in code, the idiot company I work with created this thing. I can't do anything about it, and I need to be employed. So don't be rude to the people. I found that I've gotten so much further when I'm nice to the people and I appeal more to the situation that I'm in. Just say, okay, let's walk through this. What would you do if you were me? And if I have a chance to win, usually then they're more on your team.
No, I'm totally like, get them on my team. Don't shoot the messenger. Right. Had you said to that woman, okay, then let's polish up that resume, like that would have been the wrong approach. Right. I like to like find how's your day going? You know, my day's going pretty good too, but I just got this bill and I'm hoping you can make my day a little bit better. You know, and put a little bit of charm, like I'd sold a car or two, which I haven't, but you know what I mean?
No, yeah, absolutely. Hey, in just a moment, Pete and I are going to have our big takeaway, but first, all right, Pete. It's the big time here. What's our takeaway from today's piece?
Never anger Joe when his social media account is at his fingertips, because here's what'll happen. He'll do what the kids call putting you on blast. And when Joe Saul-Sehy puts you on blast, it will cost you $450 in travel vouchers, and I don't have that quality of a printer. So that's what I've learned today, Joe.
I had a friend once who told me, apparently I angered them one time, and they said that it's a husband and wife, said they had put my wife and I in the penalty box. Oh. And I'm like, how old are we? Are we like 14? And I'm in the, what does it mean to be in the penalty box? Well, you know, you don't anger somebody and put them in the penalty, but don't get in Joe's penalty box. That's a good takeaway.
So wait, you were put in the penalty box?
I was put in the penalty box by friends of mine.
And you stopped being friends with them, right?
I kind of did for a while, yes, until they realized that putting me in the penalty box I thought was great. In fact, it's funny because I used that. I told you I'm a passive-aggressive ninja. Sure. I used that. I'm like, dude, I'm digging the penalty box whenever I'd see him around town. And pretty soon I wasn't in the penalty box anymore. I was probably in the jerk box or the passive-aggressive box or whatever that might be. But, you know, my takeaway with this is that while we are hostage sometimes to fees, that sugar, you know, I mean, really being nice to people actually is the better way, and working with them. And Kimberly here hanging out with us on Facebook says the takeaway is to drive. Don't fly at all. And another takeaway for me has been to try to give, and it's funny because with airlines, we've always come down to what which one's cheapest, right? I go to Kayak or wherever and I just look for the cheapest one. Go to Google, look for the cheapest thing and take it. I've stopped doing that. Like, I won't fly Spirit anymore just because I don't like eating my ankles for 2 hours on a plane, but also because of the fact that I don't believe in that practice. I don't want to encourage that behavior. So I don't know. It cost me a few dollars, and I know that I alone won't change the world when it comes to airlines, but I need to support the things that make me go.
I'm with you. I don't know when I will fly again, and I usually fly about 100 to 150 times a year. So it's very weird in my life right now. But when I do, I will be on the one airline that I always fly, and that's Delta. Thank you, Ed Bastian.
I got to tell you, the difference between Delta and American has been amazing. Yeah. Has been just incredible. Pete, I heard that you run this really cool company called HeyMoney.
We do. We're professional financial problem solvers. You know, sometimes you don't need a financial planner. You don't need someone to invest your money. You just got a series of realities in your life, and they all add up to something. You just don't know what, because you're a consumer and you don't look at this stuff all day. Well, my group of experts do look at these things all day. And for $19.99 a month, we will be your financial friend. and we will hug you virtually, and we will fix stuff. And that's what we do. We have nothing to sell you. We don't want to be your investment advisors. So go to callheymoney.com and use offer code. We don't actually have an offer code for that. I was on a roll, so I do. Callheymoney.com, everybody.
You were going, man. I wasn't going to stop you.
Well, now,
but I am disappointed that there's no Money with Friends offer code, but whatever. I thought we were friends. I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah. Let's back channel on that.
Deal. He's Pete. I'm Joe. Tomorrow we are back with more. We're going to talk about the winter, the winter that for some of us can't come fast enough. We're like, I saw a meme recently, Pete, that just said, "Hey, can I just put up a tree and call this year over?" Like, let's do that. We'll talk about that stuff from LL Bean on tomorrow's Money with Friends. Bye-bye. Awesome.
All
right, guys. Oh my God. I knew I was going to rant about American Airlines, but I didn't think I was going to rant that hard. You never know until you're live.
It's true.
Yeah, I like your line about the therapy.
Don't think it worked.
I have never heard that we look like brothers, Pete.
Two white guys podcasting.
We must be brothers. Because we're the only two white guys podcasting.
We're the only ones that not doing a murder podcast.
That's true crime.
Yeah. Which, by the way, always a white guy who's the killer. So let's just be honest. Oh yeah, we do look like. Oh, let me put on headphones. I got on my IFBs, but I can put on headphones.
Oh, nice. There you go. Yeah. That's so bad. That is so bad. All right. Let's make another podcast, guys. So that is Thursday, and here comes Friday. This is
post show after this recording. I'm up against this, so I will probably pop out right after.
Deal. Yep. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. LL Bean CEO says, get this, demand for snowshoes and sleds already spiking ahead of winter. We're looking at winter already here at Money with Friends with Pete the Planner on today's podcast. Welcome to the Money with Friends podcast, coming to you live from my mom's traveling half-finished basement today in East Lansing, Michigan. I'm Joe Saul-Sehy.
I'm Peter Dunn, coming to you from the cradle of civilization, Central Indiana.
Isn't that
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Let's just call it the thing. I was thinking like the bread basket, America's bread basket. Wouldn't that be?
Yeah, something like that. The cornucopia of
yes.
America, maybe the market basket. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of corn and some trees. That's where I live.
This is the podcast where we cover recent stories ripped from the financial press. Today, we're going to cover one from CNBC. Not only do we read them like some podcasts, but Pete and I are going to dive into how they affect your wallet, what you can do to invest, save, pay down debt more effectively. And if that's not enough, we're going to share a big idea at the end of the show you can take with you to be better with money the rest of the day. And obviously, we do this live because I'm tripping over every other word. Today's podcast comes to us via and thanks to NordPass. We lock passwords. You hold the key with NordPass. Store your passwords in the cloud. Access them on desktop, mobile, or your favorite browser, all encrypted on your device for your eyes only. You will get 50% off and a 30-day money-back guarantee if you use our link, nordpass.com/MWF. So you're welcome, everybody who's done that. Just because you hang out with us, you get that bonus. And the other bonus you get is you get Pete the Planner one more time. Hey, Pete, what's going on, man?
This is the finest part of my 1 o'clock hour Eastern time.
Your 1 o'clock hour on Wednesday, September 2nd, as we record it.
Yes. Yeah. Other than that, I'm pretty good.
It is beautiful. Well, I'll tell you something else that's beautiful is I love winter. We just got back from Vermont, and I have to tell you, if I can convince my wife to go anywhere where there's snow in the winter, that will be fantastic. Her goal is to just get away from that. But if I could be anywhere, give me some LL Bean, Maine, Vermont, whatever. Going to be fantastic. Today, we're going to talk about that. Let's see which one of our friends is going to help us get into it. All right, today's piece, as I mentioned, comes to us from CNBC. It's written by Lauren Thomas. LL Bean CEO says demand for snowshoes, sleds already spiking ahead of winter. Oh, my goodness. Pete, you want to do the honors?
Consumers already appear to be gearing up to get outside this winter, with the coronavirus shutting gyms and severely limiting indoor activities. Sales of bikes and boats have been strong in the spring and summer, but now shoppers are stocking up on flannel, fleece, and boots to keep warm when temperatures drop. LL Bean CEO Stephen Smith told CNBC's Squawk on the Street. We've already seen a pop in sales on snowshoes, sleds, some of our outdoor hard goods for the winter season, Smith said Tuesday. I think people are connected to the outdoors in ways they have never been.
LL Bean, headquartered in Freeport, Maine, isn't the only retailer reaping the benefits of more people trying to get outdoors and break a sweat. Dick's Sporting Goods online sales surged 194% during the latest quarter as more people bought sneakers, athletic apparel, kayaks, and camping accessories. Bike sales are soaring at retailers across the board, up 75% in March and April, according to data from MPD Group. What we've seen is a total reconnection in nature, just being outside, Smith said. There are incredible restorative benefits to being outside. We absolutely see that continuing through the fall and winter. I got to say that when we were in Vermont, we go hiking every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And what a fantastic time. Just amazing to be away from the devices, away from, there were a fair number of people hiking these places, but away from most people and out in nature. And man, I slept great those nights too.
It again feels like copy, feels like the marketing team wrote it, but incredible restorative benefits to being outside. I'm in. I buy it. I 100% agree with that. And I spent a lot of money on outside stuff this summer. I did. We installed a basketball goal. I put more money into sort of cycling stuff. And I haven't thought that far ahead for the winter yet. But Joe, what's on your wish list to spend this winter as you are still stranded away from humanity during this pandemic? Like, I haven't thought for that far ahead because I don't want to, but today we're going to. What do you get? What's your winter wish list?
Well, what's funny is that I will be south all winter long. So I just want to continue to get outside. I'll tell you what I want to do. I want to get, this is way too personal, but I'm having an issue with my hip. I got to get that checked out because I really am itching to do another marathon. So I want to spend the cold months where I'm going to be is not going to get that cold, maybe 40 degrees. So I want to spend the cold months hopefully getting ready for another marathon.
Yeah. For me, I've been working out a lot more, running, cycling. So I have to buy out winter cycling gear, those sorts of things. But then here's the complexity of it. It's what do you buy for your kids who've had the worst 2 years of childhood anyone could want, given that they're in the pandemic? I said 2 years because here's how I think, Joe. Basically, January through March was 1 year, okay, of this year. And then March through now is another year. That's 2 years. That's COVID math. That's where I'm at. And so we're going to have to spend money on some sort of like snowman maker or, mechanical reindeer. I don't know what we're going to have to do, but I feel like there's going to be a trend that way that the influencers on Instagram, hawk on their sites. I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Hasn't been the worst though, because in some ways I feel like this is the best year for people. I feel like the stories that I'm hearing colloquially, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of bad stuff going on, right? But for people that have been healthy, being at home with the family and reconnecting together. I'm hearing about more people playing board games, more people reading more than they've done. To this article's point, more people outside. Like these are not bad things, Pete. These are great. So maybe you just say, you know what, for winter, we will give you more of this, but hopefully without a pandemic in the background.
So there obviously you've seen the stories too about the other industries booming, the home improvement industry as
right.
People, they're calling it sort of a nesting economy where people are making their homesteads stronger and better. So maybe that's where this goes. Maybe it's not sporting equipment or, boots at LL Bean. By the way, do you remember that story about 3 or 4 years ago? You had to have seen this with LL Bean where they have a lifetime guarantee on all their products. And what people were doing now is people were buying their products buying them wholesale, like used products, going shopping at Goodwill to find their products, and then just returning and getting brand new ones.
So get brand new stuff, yeah. I remember they had to completely redo their whole exchange policy because of that.
Yeah, I think I think people will somehow work on their homes again from a winter perspective. I mean, does that mean the fireplace business is going to go through the roof? And that seemed a little on the nose because I don't want the fire in there. But that could happen, right? As people say, oh, we want to sit around a fire as we play Scrabble, as opposed to not sitting around a fire. Maybe that's where this goes. I mean, what else could it be? Booze.
I remember reading, well, as you're talking, I remember reading Michael Lewis, one of his early books, Liar's Poker. Mm-hmm. In Liar's Poker, he found out when he's working at Salomon Brothers that you don't look at the next domino when you're investing. You look at the domino beyond the domino. And by the way, we're talking about people on Wall Street that are trying to buy individual securities, which I don't think most of the people that are listening to this should be doing. But I am thinking about the domino after the next domino, Pete. Like after this is over, where do we go from? What's the following domino? Is Zoom? I saw Zoom announce just crazy results the other day. Do we go buy more Zoom stock? Does Netflix? It feels to me like once this is over, maybe to some degree, all of these things sadly go back to the way life was.
Is there a tool that can be developed to remove plexiglass? Because whatever that is, that's we're getting money on Shark Tank at this point. I mean, think about, I assume, I don't know this. I'm literally making this up. I assume 3M makes plexiglass, like an organization like that, a big conglomerate. I don't even know if they're a conglomerate. I just wanted to sound fancy, but like plexiglass. Okay. So what is after plexiglass? What is our reality after that? And to your point, well, I'm not smart enough to figure any of that out, but it is fascinating. I think booze always wins. There's a liquor store down the street from me, and I was talking to the owner the other day because I was buying liquor. And he was like, we have had record day after day after day after day, and it's not stopped since March.
Yeah. Isn't that, I mean, there's a sad story there, I think, too, though.
Oh, there is. And I don't, it is just the reality of our times.
Sure.
Unfortunately, it is also sad, but good for him.
Yeah. I think the one area that doesn't ever go back to the way it was, I think corporate real estate is really going to have a big shakeout the next several years, because I do think that a lot of people aren't going back to work. And I also think that that's going to change housing prices throughout the nation. I mean, places like where you live, Indianapolis, that are always been a nice place to live for people that know Indy. It's a fantastic place to live, Pete, but people that don't know Indianapolis, have never been there. Like before I went there, they're like, dude, you live in the middle of a cornfield square in the middle of this state. No, thank you. And then you go there and you're like, this is way nicer than I thought it was going to be. No offense to Indianapolis. It's fantastic.
No, I agree. I mean, I think I think you're right. The real estate thing has got some issues, and we could spend another hour on this next comment, but with now the CDC halting evictions through the end of the year, with not offering funds to landlords to offset that moratorium, Joe, I think, if I can be serious for once in this hour, I think that's going to be a huge, huge issue, because you're talking about taking landlords, whether they're commercial landlords or a big time organization or small time landlords, and you're ruining their finances with no recourse, and it won't allow them to reset the housing market. It's going to crush because they're going to get foreclosed upon.
Yeah. A lot of landlords going bye-bye that were overextended.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so another thing that's not going to be in fashion anymore, I think kissing booths are probably back to my normal self.
Well, the Kiss a Stranger booth. That's the one that,
those are the ones
probably should have never been open anyway. So
they have them at truck stops.
In just a second, Pete and I are going to have our big takeaway from today's show, but want to thank everybody who used our link when they went to NordPass. NordPass, they lock the passwords, you hold the key. So I used to have one killer password for everything that I did. And then I realized that, you know what? If they get one password, the thieves are going to get all my passwords. So instead, I went to NordPass. And what's cool is NordPass now creates these hyper complex passwords that, frankly, I don't even know. But I do know how to get into NordPass. And once I get there, not only do I have different passwords for every place that I am, so my financial life is there, but I also I also have it all in one place so that if something happens to me, Cheryl, my spouse, knows where things are, and she and I can trade back and forth. So it's very easy for us both because we can get at our passwords from anywhere, from a desktop, mobile, favorite browser, from the app. It's all available at NordPass. And if you use our link, you will get the 2-year subscription, 50% off, a 30-day money-back guarantee to try it out before you pay anything. Head to nordpass.com/MWF for that deal. That's nordpass.com/MWF. Pete, what's our big takeaway here, man?
My brain is racing. How can we see what is next in this stay-at-home situation? How long will it last? Are we going to get back to vest season? Is that what people are going to spend all their money on? So my big takeaway here is I'm not well enough prepared for the coming months to know what I should spontaneously buy in the middle of the night while I'm panicking over the pandemic.
Well, and it's funny you say that because I'm going to take a second and get serious also about this, which is that, we keep reading all these headlines, Pete, about all these things that are surprising. Airlines yesterday, we talked about changing these fees that are baloney fees we never thought would go away. Today, we're talking about sleds and snowshoes and stuff that's also surprising. We're reading about professional money managers that are buying options because they think the market finally at some point is going to come down. You could spend all day, every day, worried about what's going to happen next. And I think you have to embrace what you are in control of and continue to keep your sights long term when it comes to your money stuff, because getting involved in all this day to day, everything's changing minute by minute, it just drive you crazy.
See, that's why you make the big bucks, Joe. You're right. I mean, look, I, of course, half jesting. I don't care what is next. It's interesting. But I think it's the people that have said, all right, we're in this situation, we're going to make the best of it. And I don't say that flippantly because I know a lot of people are really struggling and hurting right now. But for those people that have not had the affliction of those others, you owe it to yourself and your future and your kids to just keep going. And man, that's not helpful to hear, but it's true.
And just to keep it serious for a second, this is your last appearance for the season. I want to say huge thanks, man, for spending these sessions with us. I really appreciated it. And every time I'm with you, I learn so much. So thank you very much.
Well, I appreciate it. This is, you and I will still, of course, see each other and talk to each other, but I will not see this audience. It reminds me of the time I was kicked out of the financial industry for a Ponzi scheme, and it makes me very proud.
Get the hell out of here, Pete.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, buddy.
And before we go, by the way, we talked yesterday about HeyMoney. You can find HeyMoney at callheymoney.com. And your people don't touch any of, Bobby and I did a show recently about somebody who got scammed out of $300,000 because their advisor decided to create a joint account. I don't know if you knew that.
I shouldn't laugh.
I know. Isn't that horrible?
That's awful.
Just somebody's advisor decided that it's not just your money, it's our money. So, but you guys don't even make the transactions. You just help people make decisions.
Yeah, we're financial problem solvers. So we have a team of CFPs and AFCs, which are accredited financial counselors. And, a lot of times we're talking about behavior. We're talking about tough scenarios in which it requires a tough decision. So we don't deal with investing a lot. We primarily just deal with people who've got interesting scenarios that need expert guidance. And we do it at $19.99 a month. So you go to callheymoney.com.
Awesome. And you can also find Pete on his column at USA Today or at the Pete the Planner Show. He's Pete. I'm Joe. We'll see you next time back here at Money with Friends. Bye-bye. All right. He's got to fly, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.